Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to the hearts of women who find themselves walking a lonely path. To the woman who looks around and sees no friends standing beside her, no sisters to share her burdens, no confidant to celebrate her victories, I want you to know that you are seen, you are valued, and you are not alone. It's easy to feel like you've failed when your circle is small or even non-existent. Society often tells us that our worth is measured by the number of people who surround us. But let me remind you, the depth of your character is not determined by the size of your crowd, but by the strength of your spirit. Solitude as strength is an idea that challenges the conventional narrative about loneliness. Society often portrays solitude as a deficiency, a gap that must be filled, a problem to be solved. But what if solitude is not a void, but a sanctuary? A woman with no friends may feel the weight of societal expectations pressing on her shoulders, whispering that her worth is tied to her social circle, that her value is reflected in the number of people who surround her. Yet history and human experience teach us otherwise. Solitude, when embraced rather than feared, has the power to become a transformative force. When there are no voices clamoring for attention, no obligations pulling her in every direction, a woman finds herself in a rare and sacred space. It is a place where she can truly listen to her own voice, unfiltered by external opinions and free from the noise of the world. This solitude becomes fertile ground for self-discovery. In the stillness, she can explore the depths of her soul, ask the hard questions, and find the answers that have eluded her in the chaos of busy social interactions. Strength is often forged in the fire of adversity, and solitude is no exception. When there are no friends to lean on, no shoulders to cry on, she discovers the power within herself to stand tall. She learns resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, and the courage to face life's challenges head on. Solitude teaches her to be her own advocate, to cheer for herself when there is no one else to do so. This inner strength becomes a foundation that cannot be shaken no matter what storms may come her way. Furthermore, solitude provides an opportunity for focus. Without the distractions of maintaining relationships or fulfilling social obligations, a woman has the clarity to pursue her goals and dreams. She can invest time in personal growth, whether through education, hobbies, or self-care. This season of solitude becomes a time of preparation, equipping her with the skills, knowledge, and confidence needed to seize future opportunities. Perhaps most importantly, solitude invites her to reconnect with the divine. It is in the quiet moments that she can hear the still, small voice that speaks of purpose and promise. She realizes that she is never truly alone, for there is a presence that walks beside her, guides her, and fills the spaces that others cannot. Solitude then is not a burden, but a gift that shapes her into a woman of unshakable strength and grace. Without the validation of others, a woman learns to validate herself in ways that are profound and transformative. Society often teaches women to seek approval, to measure their worth by the opinions of others, and to derive their value from external sources. Friends, family, colleagues, and even casual acquaintances become mirrors reflecting who she believes she is. But what happens when those mirrors are no longer there? When a woman stands alone, stripped of the external affirmations that once defined her, she faces a crucial turning point. She can either crumble under the weight of insecurity or rise, learning to affirm her own worth and trust her own voice. In this solitude, she is forced to reckon with herself. No longer can she depend on the applause or acknowledgement of others to sustain her self-esteem. This is where the journey of self-validation begins. She discovers that her value does not come from what others say about her, but from the intrinsic quality she carries within. Her kindness, intelligence, creativity, resilience, and authenticity become the metrics by which she measures herself. These are qualities that no one can give or take away from her, and they form the bedrock of her self-worth. As she learns to validate herself, she also gains clarity about her needs and desires. Free from the influence of others, she can listen to her inner voice without interference. This clarity helps her set boundaries, make decisions, and chart a path that aligns with her true self. She no longer feels the need to say yes to everything and everyone in an attempt to be liked or accepted. Instead, she becomes intentional about her choices, guided by her own values and priorities. This self-validation also transforms the way she interacts with others. No longer seeking approval, she approaches relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. She doesn't require others to fill a void within her because she has learned to fill that void herself. This creates healthier, more balanced connections built on mutual respect and genuine appreciation rather than dependency. Perhaps the most profound aspect of self-validation is the freedom it brings. A woman who validates herself is not easily swayed by criticism or rejection. She is free to pursue her dreams, take risks, and embrace opportunities without fear of judgment. Her confidence comes from within, making it unshakable. In a world that often demands conformity, this self-assured woman becomes a beacon of authenticity and strength. Periods of isolation can serve as a transformative process where a woman experiences a divine pruning, removing distractions and preparing her for greater growth. While loneliness may feel like a burden, it is often a necessary step in the journey towards self-discovery and purpose. In this space of quiet and stillness, she is given the opportunity to shed what no longer serves her: unhealthy relationships, toxic environments, and even self-limiting beliefs that may have taken root over time. This pruning is not punishment, it is preparation for the next season of her life. When the distractions are stripped away, she begins to see herself and her life with newfound clarity. The noise of others' expectations, opinions, and judgments fades into the background, allowing her to focus on her own thoughts and feelings. This clarity is essential for growth. She can assess her life with honesty and identify areas that need attention or change. Whether it's setting boundaries, pursuing a long-held dream, or letting go of past hurts, this period of isolation provides the time and space to make those pivotal decisions. The process of pruning also forces her to confront the deeper truths about herself. Without the constant input of others, she has no choice but to face her fears, insecurities, and doubts. This can be an uncomfortable process, but it is also incredibly liberating. In facing these challenges head-on, she builds resilience and strength. She learns that she can endure discomfort and emerge stronger on the other side. This inner work becomes the foundation for her future success and happiness. Furthermore, this time of pruning often creates room for new opportunities and blessings. By letting go of what no longer aligns with her purpose, she makes space for the things that do. Relationships that once felt essential may fall away, only to be replaced by connections that are more authentic and fulfilling. Goals that once seemed out of reach may suddenly come into focus, now unencumbered by the distractions that previously held her back. This period of isolation can also deepen her spiritual connection. In the stillness, she may hear the quiet whispers of divine guidance leading her toward her next steps. She begins to trust the process, understanding that even in her solitude, she is being prepared for something greater. This awareness gives her peace and confidence, knowing that the pruning is not an end, but a beginning, a step toward the life she is meant to live. Loneliness can tempt a woman to bitterness, but it is in her power to choose betterment instead. Life often presents us with moments of profound isolation, where the absence of friends and companions feels like an overwhelming void. In those moments, the bitterness of rejection, disappointment, or betrayal can creep in, whispering that the world is unfair, that people are untrustworthy, or that she is unworthy of love and connection. However, the transformative choice lies in deciding what to do with this pain. Will she let it harden her heart, or will she allow it to refine her character and lead her to growth? Choosing betterment over bitterness requires a conscious decision to see loneliness not as a curse, but as a teacher. Painful experiences can serve as lessons, revealing areas where healing is needed and where growth is possible. The isolation forces her to turn inward, not to wallow in self-pity, but to confront and process her emotions. This journey is not easy. It requires courage to face feelings of sadness, anger, and even resentment. Yet in doing so, she begins to release the weight of these emotions, freeing herself from their grip. Betterment also involves taking deliberate steps to nurture her well-being. In her solitude, she can invest in herself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Perhaps she starts journaling, allowing her thoughts to flow freely and uncovering truths she hadn't acknowledged before. Maybe she takes up new hobbies or revisits old passions, reigniting a sense of joy and purpose. This time becomes an opportunity to focus on personal growth, equipping herself with the tools and mindset needed to thrive. Loneliness also offers a unique perspective on relationships. It allows her to reevaluate the connections she has had in the past, understanding what worked, what didn't, and why. This reflection helps her to redefine what she wants in future relationships, whether friendships or romantic partnerships. She learns to set healthier boundaries, communicate her needs more effectively, and recognize red flags early on. This intentionality ensures that when she does welcome people into her life again, those connections are more authentic and fulfilling. Finally, choosing betterment means embracing hope. Bitterness thrives in an environment of hopelessness, convincing her that things will never improve. But by focusing on betterment, she declares that her current situation is temporary, that brighter days are ahead. This hope fuels her to keep moving forward, to keep striving, and to keep believing in herself and her future. In the end, she emerges from her season of loneliness stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the blessings to come. A woman's worth is not defined by the size of her social circle, but by the authenticity and alignment of her relationships. In a world that often glorifies popularity and the appearance of being surrounded by others, it's easy to feel inadequate when the number of friends dwindles or when one finds herself walking alone. However, true connection is not about quantity, it is about quality. It's not the crowd that matters, but the depth, trust, and mutual respect within each relationship. A small, meaningful circle or even a single, genuine connection can have a far greater impact than dozens of superficial ties. This realization often comes during seasons of loneliness where the absence of others creates space for clarity. Without the noise of constant social interactions, a woman can reflect on the nature of her past relationships. She may begin to see patterns that were unhealthy or unbalanced connections where she gave more than she received or where she felt drained rather than uplifted. This period of reflection allows her to redefine her expectations and set new standards for the people she allows into her life moving forward. When the right relationships come along, they are marked by a sense of ease and authenticity. She no longer feels the need to perform or mold herself into someone she is not to fit in or be accepted. Instead, she is embraced for who she truly is with all her flaws and strengths. These relationships become a safe space where vulnerability is met with compassion and where support is freely given without strings attached. Alignment also means that the people in her life share her values or at least respect them. These connections resonate on a deeper level because they are built on shared principles and mutual understanding. This doesn't mean that everyone has to think or act the same, but there is a fundamental respect and a shared sense of purpose that strengthens the bond. Such relationships add value to her life, encouraging her to grow and pushing her toward her goals. This approach to relationships also helps her guard her energy and time. By focusing on alignment, she avoids the trap of maintaining connections out of obligation or fear of being alone. She becomes selective, choosing to invest in relationships that are reciprocal and meaningful. This shift not only improves the quality of her relationships, but also enhances her overall well-being. She learns that her worth is intrinsic, not dependent on external validation, and that meaningful connections are a reflection of the love and respect she has cultivated within herself. A woman with no friends is never truly alone, for there is a divine presence that fills the spaces others cannot. While human companionship is valuable and comforting, it is ultimately finite and imperfect. People can leave, disappoint, or fail to meet her needs, yet in her solitude, she can discover a connection that transcends these limitations, a spiritual relationship that provides unwavering support, guidance, and love. This realization is often a turning point as she learns to draw strength from a source that is constant and unchanging. In the stillness of isolation, she has the opportunity to deepen her relationship with the divine. Without the distractions of daily social interactions, she can listen more intently to the quiet whispers of her soul and the guiding voice of a higher power. Whether through prayer, meditation, or reflection, she finds a sense of peace and purpose that no earthly relationship can replicate. This connection grounds her, offering reassurance that she is not forgotten or forsaken, even in her loneliest moments. This divine presence not only offers comfort, but also provides clarity and direction. In the absence of friends to advise her or share their opinions, she learns to seek wisdom from within and above. She begins to trust her instincts, which are often the voice of the divine working through her. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable become manageable because she understands she is not facing them alone. This sense of partnership strengthens her resolve and equips her to navigate life's uncertainties with courage and grace. Moreover, this spiritual connection reinforces her sense of self-worth. She comes to realize that her value is not determined by the number of people who surround her, but by the fact that she was created with intention and purpose. This awareness frees her from the need for external validation, as she understands that she is already loved and cherished by a presence far greater than any human connection. This divine love becomes a foundation upon which she builds her confidence, resilience, and hope. As she embraces this spiritual relationship, she also becomes more attuned to the beauty and meaning in her solitude. She sees it not as emptiness, but as a sacred space where she can grow, heal, and prepare for what is to come. This perspective transforms her experience of loneliness, turning it into a season of empowerment and renewal. With the knowledge that she is never truly alone, she moves forward with a sense of purpose and a heart full of quiet strength, ready to embrace the blessings and opportunities that await her.